Buongiorno and welcome to Apicius, International School of Hospitality. Today we're going to present a Christmas dessert, very traditional Tuscan recipe. It's called tronchetto di Natale, tronchetto from Christmas. Actually, we have a special guest from Apicius pastry department, the maestro pastry chef Simone De Castro.
Good morning, welcome in Apicius. I'm Simone De Castro, I'm a pastry chef. The recipe that I make today is a tronchetto di Natale. It's a very traditional Tuscan cake for the Christmas. The ingredient is cornstarch, granulated sugar, dark chocolate, egg yolks, and cream and milk combined all together. Now I bring to boil the cream and milk. I recommended use the aluminium pot or steel pot, but with the double layer on bottom. Now, while the cream and milk boil, I start to prepare and combine all together yolks, sugar and cornstarch. For first, the sugar, yolks and cornstarch. I recommended don't leave inside. You must combine very well all together, because if you don't combine, the sugar cook the eggs. Now the cream and milk start to boil and I add the sugar, egg yolks and starch combined all together. I put inside and I bake until it becomes sticky. The cream is done. Now I put the chocolate inside, like this, outside of the stove, because the chocolate is probably that burned. Now the cream is done. I'm pour in the plate and put in the fridge for 1 hour until it become cold. Now the rolle sponge cake. Ingredient: granulated sugar, the first part, yolks and eggs all together, egg white, the second part of granulated sugar, and the flour. For first, I combine and whip the first part of granulated sugar, egg yolks and whole eggs combined all together. And the result is this. The second step, I must prepare the meringue with egg white, granulated sugar, and I must whip. And this is the result. Now, this is the first dough, the first form. This is, you remember, I have egg yolks, whole eggs and sugar. This is egg whites and sugar. I combine all together. I put the egg whites inside for give the softness, consistency, texture. Now I combine like this. Is important, like this. Fold very slowly and carefully. And now I add the flour previously sifted. When it's done, when I've absorbed all ingredient, I can pour inside of the tray. It's important put the parchment paper like this, the parchment paper you need for roll the tronchetto di Natale. This is done. Now I must put in oven. The last step for build and prepare the tronchetto di Natale. Buttercream. You have the sample buttercream, powdered sugar, soft butter, milk chocolate. I put inside. I combine with a whisk the powdered sugar and butter. Is important for step, not all together. For example, first step, and then for last I add the milk chocolate and continue to combine. This is the result, the amazing buttercream with chocolate. The last step, the building of the cake. Okay, I have here my sponge cake, dark chocolate cream, my buttercream, the equipment. You need a spatula, one French knife, the pastry bag with the star tip, one plate. For first, I spread my chocolate pastry cream on top of the cake, the sponge cake. It's important to cover all surfaces with the chocolate, like this. When you eat the cake, the result is very wet. And it's important that the sponge cake become wet because you must roll. If the biscuit, sponge cake, is dry and not wet, it's probably that you broken while you try to roll. Now I start to roll. You remember when I talk of the parchment paper? Now with the parchment paper you use for help this procedure. Like this you don't marker the hand and the cake is very well ready. Now in this side and attach it very well, the last part. Okay, if I have a guest in my home, I can leave like this or cut this part and use this part of the cake. I can use and I can cut and make the little portion for my guest, for the single portion. For example, I try for first this part. Usually I put my tronchetto di Natale in a freezer for 1 hour. Like this become very hard and I can cut very well. But I have the good sponge cake and I can cut also now. So this is very big for one portion, but it's okay. Imagine that you have the guest very hungry. So now I have my plate. I have this part of tronchetto di Natale and I put here. I use this, I put here, like this. I use my pastry cream, how glue, like this. With a spatula, I take the pastry cream, I put it here, and this side I attach it here. I cover the surfaces of the little trunk before I put and cover the big trunk. I put the rosemary light decoration, not too much, some leaves, because remember that is the tronchetto di Natale, the trunk Christmas. I'm finished with the snow. My cake is done. Happy Christmas! This is the dessert. We have chosen to pairing with the cake the Donato Santa Cristina Vinsanto. The characteristic of this wine are the flavor, the fruit, and the alcohol, the good quantity of flavor that have this wine inside. Is a very good pairing for pairing this wine like this. Clean the mouth very well when you eat this dessert. Merry Christmas!